Could it be that Pacific Rim may still have a bit of life left in it? The film just opened this week in China and broke the Chinese opening day box office record by making $9 million on its opening. The success in China has many news sites speculating that a sequel to the Giant Monsters film could still be a possibility. John, with the success in China, do you think Pacific Rim is a possibility?
You know, here's the thing. Huge success in China. Okay, it made $9 million on its opening day, which is good. I mean, actually, that's a record for China. It's very good. I think it beat the previous record by like 20%, which was like the last Harry Potter film. So it's doing very, very well. But let's not forget, this is a film that is still about $150 million short of breaking even. So now what has happened here is this, and we see this happen all the time. One news source said, hey, now the chances are better for Pacific Rim. And then suddenly now, that wasn't Warner Brothers saying that. That was a news source saying it. Now the chances are better. And then what happened? 50 other movie news sites picked up, oh, now the chances are better. The chances for Pacific Rim are now improved. Okay, first of all, nobody at Warner Brothers said that. Okay, so let's be clear about that. Warner Brothers has not said, oh, now we might do a sequel. They didn't say that. Other thing to keep in mind too is this movie is still going to lose money. Now, if it's doing better than people thought it was going to do in China, which is great because this movie is awesome. I love Pacific Rim, so it deserves to do well. But it's going to fall short. It's going to lose cash, and a lot of it, even though it's doing really well in China. Now, but that doesn't mean it's impossible that there's going to be a sequel. I still say there won't be. I don't think they'll do it. The only way that a sequel will come is if the people at Warner Brothers have the cojones, like really big ones, to say, you know what, even though we lost a ton of money on this movie, we think there's now enough positive word of mouth that we're willing to roll the dice and risk losing more money by making a sequel because we believe a sequel will do better than this one and that maybe it could turn it around and make us money. If the people at Warner Brothers are willing to make that kind of a gamble, it could happen. I just really doubt their testicular fortitude to do that. Dennis, how do you see it?
I think I've decided to change my mind from the other day when I sold the possibility of a sequel, and I'm gonna be optimistic and say, not that there is going to be one, but I think there's a much better chance now. And because I love the movie so much, I've decided to change it in my head, even though the chances of it happening are still very, very slim. One thing I did notice that someone asked Guillermo del Toro about a possible sequel, and he said, well, if we do one, it's going to take like another like a year and a half to 2 years to write the script. And as much as I love Pacific Rim, you could crank out that script in like a week.
Oh, yeah. You and I could do it before lunch today. We could write this script for Pacific Rim before lunch.
So that aspect I don't buy. I'm like, no. You don't need that long to develop the script that you had, unless you're going to make it way better. You know, I love the movie. That wasn't the strong point of it. So.
No. There's lots of great things about Pacific Rim, but the script was not like, he's not going to get nominated for any Oscars this year for the best original screenplay, Pacific Rim. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I also don't think that the studio is going to get behind that franchise. I think there's a lot of other franchises possibly, but Pacific Rim, it's good, but is it that good to get behind it when they've already lost money? Probably not.
Well, see, I mean, if they have some kind of crystal ball over there where they think like, you know what, like despite the fact that we lost our pants on this movie, despite that, we think the tracking is really good and we think people loved it.
Yeah.
And maybe, but here's my fear. My fear would be that they say, okay, let's do a Pacific Rim, but let's cut $50 million out of the budget.
Yeah,
and that would, I don't know that I want to see a Pacific Rim because, I'm always saying that you don't need $200 million to make a great movie. Well, there are some movies that you need to, and Pacific Rim is one of those movies. You need a huge budget.
You saw all the money on screen too. They weren't like hiding any of the money. It wasn't like big star paychecks. It was all there on the screen. Yeah. One thing too is maybe they can sell enough merchandise in China of the robot toys and all that stuff that they can make up some money. So I put it out to my Asian brothers and sisters in China and the rest of Asia to buy as much merchandise as possible and see it as many times as possible. I'm putting it on you guys.
Wow.
All right.